Hi everyone, it's Bitcoin from the Big Chubowski in this new season of 3v3. Starting off the season around rank 268, which is sort of the middle of the range where I hover around between rank 100 and like 400 or something. So yeah, let's see what I can do this season. I'm not really expecting to make great strides in terms of ranking because I'll probably just be testing a whole bunch of things that might cost me a round here or there. In order to motivate myself for this season, I've gotten some upgrades because 3v3, like, I don't hate it, but I don't specifically enjoy it a ton either. I guess I'll have to get into it a bit more. But I got Relic 9 Bosk for this one, so I can run the Lord Vader counter that Van Seal came up with. 158k protection, that'll do the trick, I hope. And then I also finally got another Grand Arena Omicron. I had been sitting on one, wasn't sure where I wanted to spend it. Got it on Wampa. He doesn't have the modding that I locked in with. Not because I want to hide it or anything, I just didn't fix his regular modding. I need to look into that at some point. But the final version has 160% tenacity or something. And the reason why I chose Wampa over Zam isn't because I think he's necessarily better. For most people, I would in fact still recommend Zam over Wampa. But in my particular case, because of my roster and the opponents that I fight, it felt like Wampa would add more value for me personally, even though I do have some questions around his longevity. But what I'm struggling with when I play 10 mil plus accounts is that I'm sort of lacking one team to be able to solve the puzzle of their defensive teams. They very often have a Mon Mothma team, for example, that I have to spend my JKR, CLS, Grievous, or Troopers on or something. It's always some team that I need in a lot of other places, and then I get stuck trying to work my way through. It costs too much effort, it turns into banner matches, or I end up failing somewhere. So in order to solve that, I figured that the Wampa Omicron was going to help me there, not against Mon Mothma herself, because all the Mon Mothma teams I fight have like Relic 8 Kyle and stuff like that. It's not really smart to send Wampa in on that, but just in general, like for example against Iden, so that I can then shift some teams around to make it work. So I figured for me personally, this was going to be a better spend than Zam. I've already shown that I can take out Lord Vader in 5v5 without using Zam. So yeah, that was just my choice, and I guess every now and then you gotta have a bit of fun. So that was the upgrades, and I don't think there was anything else that was really noteworthy. I relic my Treya. That's something. Not Cyan and Nihilus yet, but just Treya. I want to test out some stuff with that as well. So in this first round, I'm fighting Snips from the Senate Mandalore. 8.8 mil GP, so actually the closest to me I've fought in quite a while, I think. Pretty high lifetime in the past. Probably has more Grand Arena Omicrons, I honestly didn't even check. Like going into a season like this, I didn't do a ton of preparation, just made my list of teams like a lot of other people do. I did remod some things just because it allows me, I think, to make more interesting videos, but I'm not worried that I'll drop out a Kyber 1 or something, so you really don't need to remod for this game mode. I just do a little bit of it, I think like 10 characters that I specifically want to have some different modding on. Anyway, this guy already attacked, but he left fleets for last so that he can like figure out exactly how many ships he needs to send in, which is a valid strategy, but in my opinion it's also really petty. This is the type of like strategic behavior that just makes me want to go hard on defense against a lot of players, because I find it a bit sad, like to have to play like this to sort of wait out what exactly people need to do. It's not, you know, it's not really fun. I don't enjoy it anyway, maybe some other people do, but it doesn't really make for fun Grand Arena to me. It's just irritating for both sides. So yeah, he'll have an interesting fleet defense to get through. I have no doubt I will as well. Now he one-shot my ground teams, and I have to sort of mentally adjust still to the new banner count, because you can get 3 more banners per fight compared to before, but he got an average banner count of over 56 on my ground teams, and I believe he had something like 6 times 58 banners, which is pretty much, yeah, like that's sending in one character and then that character not having protection. So that seems a bit ludicrous to me. In general, he just had really insane banners. Even the raid team that I set on defense, that I'll show you in a sec, he got just like max banners on, which, like, well, max for what he sent in, which is interesting. But I'm sure there will be a lot to learn from the stats over there. So up here I only set some generic teams that have some kind of chance of stripping a couple banners. In his case, obviously nothing was stripped. So yeah, like the point is just to set the generic stuff over there to then leave him wondering what's in the back. There's nothing too special there. So in the front here, the Maul team may look squishy there with Gear 12 Canderous, but it's a bit deceptive. The Droidica, I got to Gear 13, that was another upgrade I didn't mention, I guess. But that one pretty much triggers at about 380 speed, and then Canderous is also really fast and actually also immediately triggers Maul. So that's effectively Maul getting triggered at about 380 speed, and there's not a lot of teams that can keep up with that. Obviously he 58 bannered that, so that's gonna have been a GL. I hope anyway, otherwise I'll be really curious what he did. So since there's not a lot of point in 3v3 to set Maul under Lord Vader in my opinion, because SLK just does the exact same thing with or without Maul, I figured I'd set Stark there. Stark has a stagger that he opens with, and he's got defense down on the basic. Is that gonna do a lot? Probably not. I thought a little bit about, like, is there an interesting way to mess with the Van Seal counter of Fennec with Bosk and Grief, or like Grief and Beskar Mando. And there are some options, like if you throw in a fast enough Thrawn, you can definitely mess that up. But for now I didn't really want to bother with it too much. Then the gas team there, no longer viable with Arc and Echo if the other player has Wampa. That's something to be mindful of. I threw my Nest under EP and Mara, which also leaves him wondering, like, what the hell did this guy do with Starkiller? And at the same time, Nest is just irritating there if there's a fast team that you want to outrun. But then when you do outrun it, you typically run into like TM issues. And there's maybe some chance of stripping some banners. That's really all there is to it. Darth Revan, Bastilla Fallen, Malak, he has the trooper counter. I just like realized, I checked quickly, should have probably done that beforehand. But yeah, you need very specific modding for that. I think he took that out no problem and even got very good banners for it, which again, like, it's weird because you typically have to eat the Darth Revan AoE. So I really don't see how you can get good banners against that without spending a GL. But when I say good, it's not like he undersized it. So he didn't get a 58 or something, it was like a 55, I think, or 54, which would mean only one protection banner stripped. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. I don't see how you do that without spending a GL, but then he got 58 banners on far too many teams besides this. And he has Rey in the front there, as you can see. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to the history. In the back here, Rey, Holdo, and Hermit Yoda. So that one, he also 55 bannered, I think. So good score there. And then the other teams, they're okay. The dash is pretty fast, but nothing too special. Now the Barris with Resistance Heroes, that's the last one I'll mention something on. I wanted to try something different there. I don't think I can... You can't check the modding here anymore. But essentially, Resistance Hero Finn is modded for a lot of protection and defense sets. And the idea I had was that if they use Han and Chewie against this team, they end up shooting Resistance Hero Finn, who then feeds Turn Meter to Barris by getting crit. So Barris ends up a little bit faster than Finn, and with her Zeta, she obviously, or might, I'm saying will, but might keep her alive, keep him alive. And as a result, he also gets cleansed because he's the weakest ally at that point. So that would allow Resistance Hero Finn to not be stunned, potentially take a turn and pass to Resistance Hero Poe, and then get some damage in to turn what's otherwise a easy 54 banner win into maybe, I'm hopeful, 51 banners. Well, I guess the new model is now then, it's like going from 55 or something to 52 or 56, I don't know. I need to wrap my head around that, but that was the idea. I have no clue if it's going to work. It's just a little test. But if I could permanently make people drop a few banners on that, it seemed like a worthwhile test, right? So on his defense, yeah, over here, that Padme Shaq Mace team, it's a bit deceptive because typically against the Padme team you can send in solo GML. But on this variant, I'm not actually sure you could do that because Mace is going to ability block a ton. And if all you can really do is basics, then I'm not sure you'd actually get through because you'd be stuck on trying to gradually chip your way through them. So not sure about that one. I'll probably just add in another character. Yeah, for the rest, like really his strategy has been strip a couple banners for the rest. I think he only has one GL on defense. I'll be insanely surprised if he has another one in the back, given how many 58s he got, and given that Malak is also on defense, so you could say, yeah, well, Wampa could get a 58, Malak could get a 58, but Malak's over here. So that wasn't the case. I'm guessing against Lord Vader, maybe he used his Beskar Mando with Grief and Fennec. It's a possibility. I'd be curious if he managed to get really high banners against that, given that it's only Beskar Mando to recover some banners. There's all of these dots constantly going around. It would be really tough, and I think he got something like 55 banners on that. So I'd be surprised. Anyway, I'm gonna get started against Nute, and I'm gonna use a counter I used to run a lot in the past. Let's see if I still know how to play it. Which in my opinion is one of the best budgeted counters that you can use against this team. And I ran it a lot of times against different comps with like Droidica instead of B1 with Nest in there, etc. So there's quite a lot of variants. So you want to open up by passing the turn meter to Kylo Ren Mass to stun Nute, because his extortion is really annoying. Jango could open with a rocket, but even if he does, I don't think it would kill. You get an extra stun chance here from that tenacity down counter. And from this point on, always hit someone who is debuffed so that your Kylo Ren Mass keeps taunting. Whenever there's two of them stunned, this is the time to do an AoE with Kylo. And it's really a matter of just gradually working your way through the team. With counters like this, you can get some work done. It's about restunning them. Here I would hold the stun. There's not much of a point in spending it on an already stunned character, because now I can pass a turn. And just stun again. And you just kind of gradually whittle them down like this. It's nothing too special. But yeah, it's much cheaper than some of the other options that you might want to throw against it, which are typically needed in a lot of places as well. Let's pass it over to Unmasked, I guess. No special available now, so that's going to make it a bit more interesting. However, I've got a stun with him here. I could have done this to remove turn meter, and then Kylo here would have overtaken Jango anyway. So as you can see, you can play around a little bit when you want to use which move, and eventually it gets you results. So like here now I can choose to wait a bit with the stun because he's got it available. They're cycling really fast, which is quite nice. Like now I could kill off Jango, but it would also mean he's immediately going to take a turn. So instead I'm just going to do a basic there. Pick this guy off. And now I'll get the first kill. Make sure I keep my taunt up. And now ideally this one stuns. If it doesn't, I could have a problem. Though I could have also done the AoE to make Kylo Ren Unmasked overtake him, etc. So there's so many options to make this team work that there's not much of a reason to worry about it. So here I could pass a turn. I'll pass it to Kylo because Kylo Ren Unmasked is already full anyway. Gonna pick off Jango. And I guess that's gonna get dodged. And now I just gotta make sure I get rid of Nute, who is very eager about his dodges. Evasion mastery for you. So that's 66 on my first battle, minus the 10 would be a 56. So I guess with everyone full you get a 57. That's what I thought, but it felt a bit weird. Like it's just strange that if you leave out two characters and you send in one and they max, that really all you get is 2 banners over the maximum. But I guess that's how it used to be. It's just something I need to get used to. What that means though is that his average was essentially being almost full against every single team. So not super fun. Let me take a look at the Rey. It's got decent health, decent offense, and decent speed. He sort of went for a middle ground. Well, there's not really any assists on this one. I'm gonna have to get used to this fight again. And I'm just immediately going to get rid of armor, makes the fight a bit easier. Is the hope anyway. I guess in this case, like a lot of people prefer to charge up JMK himself in 3v3, trying to recall this. There will be a big learning curve for a lot of people. Get faster ults and you get... Okay, let's see here, what can I do with this one? I can call... Like honestly, I probably just want a basic for an ability block. I don't really see a lot of reason to do anything else, other than the dispel actually. But let's do a basic. Didn't get it, of course. So yeah, he can tank that quite nicely. Use this on JMK himself again. I'm wondering if she's gonna get off another whirlwind here. She shouldn't be able to, but... okay, drop that one. One turn off here, that's too bad. Because I can't get her down. Swap turn meter, right? Yeah. So I'll swap it over to JMK here so that he can get his ult off. Oh, come on. She literally beat me by, what was that? 10% turn meter, not even. That's not really ideal. Let's go into ult. Let's do a basic here. That was fast, really fast turnaround. Let's dispel that taunt. And now see if I can pick her off. Damage immunity would be safer, but I think I need to try to kill her. Got it. And then mace is almost full. So let me just see if that reset move here can get everyone to max. Yes, amazing Holdo. Alright, that I like. That was good. Okay, so with Talon in the Darth Revan team, I'd be pretty interested to try Troopers against it, as it changes the fight a bit. You can't go for Bastilla Fallen first, you have to go for Malak. I think it would work out fine, but like in this particular match, because he insists on playing such a tight banner match, I guess, yeah, there's not much of a point in doing that. I should just GL that one. Instead I can use Troopers on this team. I think I did it in the past. So one of the nice things is Dark Trooper does not crit, so you don't feed as much turn meter to Rex, and that makes it a bit easier. I'm probably still going to drop a banner to it, but that's okay. But hopefully I can make up on that. So pass this to Dark. And here... Oh, I gotta recall this if you use a TM boost at all. I think you just basic for the progress. Pretty sure. Alright, group attack comes in. Nice that I got the ability block on Rex, that's handy. And I actually got 5s down all the way there. That is unexpected, but very welcome. I think I would do the boost here. Oh, come on, that cost me a banner. Well, I wouldn't have punched her out in one go, but I thought she was going to go for Dark there, but I guess he lost his mark. Unless Fear still counts. Oh, he got it back. I think even Dark got it. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's great. I really need these, because I need to average 56 banners, and it's not too easy to get. That's for sure. Alright, on this Darth Revan team, I guess Sith Eternal Emperor makes most sense. If he does have a GL in the back, I have a big problem either way, I think, because my options are pretty low there. So if he did that, then props to him. Like, incredibly impressive how he got all those 58s. I'll be eagerly learning from your strategy, if that's the case, but I don't think it's going to be. He did just a little too well to have 2 GLs on defense. But who knows, people can surprise you. And I'm not quick to like to call someone a cheater or anything either. I just think he must have done something incredibly clever I didn't know was possible, so I'm always open to learning from that. And it's obviously like, it's been a long time in this game mode as well. Since we've played this game mode, I mean. So in general, it's just good to assume that there's a lot to learn, but to immediately do such a good job on your first run, that is always impressive. I think instead of trying to go into ult, I'll just see if I can max banners against it without going into ult. It's a bit slower, it's less flashy, it's less fun arguably, but banners do matter here. Like, imagine if I have to play all of my rounds like this. I think it would not be a ton of fun for the viewer either. To always have to stall out every single fight for that extra banner. To always overkill a lot of things with jails on offense, because both sides tend to go pretty heavy. It's not yeah, something I think people would really enjoy. Actually, like after Malak gets to that third stack, it becomes a bit problematic because he lands healing immunity. So I should have thought of that a little bit sooner, I think. I'll just go into ult. I actually dropped the health banner there. I thought it was still going to count. But maybe that's less forgiving than protection banners are. I don't know. That's a pity, I guess, because I do need those banners, but not much I can do. The Bosk, the Zam and Dengar team. Obviously, like many people, I'm not going to be too sure here. It's like a good banner stealing team, I would imagine. She's going to give quite a lot of offense, health, blah blah blah. So this is probably the trickiest battle to fight out of this front zone anyway. So my guess here was going to be to use Bastilla, Ki Adimundi in Old Ben. Given all the tenacity from Bastilla's lead, I can get quite a lot of damage in with Ki Adimundi. That was the guess anyway, but yeah, maybe I'll have to eat my words there and take quite a bit of damage and lose some banners. So I think it's a good test. It's the kind of budget counter that you might use in other situations. I'll have to be a bit careful of their contract as well if they can get to that. But let's see. Okay, got the triple ability block, not unimportant. Let's get started on Bosk. That is a very sad amount of damage. Yes, I could definitely see Zam's speed being a pretty big issue here. Let's get rid of that. We don't really want bonus turns from this guy. I'm definitely going to drop the protection banners. That's like almost a given. Because Dengar also hits way harder. I don't know if his taunt is available already. I'm going to go for the ability block. And he's actually healed to full because of Dengar. I need to really be careful of that. So I've got to see if I can get rid of Zam before he retaunts, but I think it might be coming up here. Oh yeah, there it is, damn it. That could probably be a loss right there. The fact that he got to retaunt. Yeah, the contract is done. I think that's going to be a loss. And then the round lost as well. Obviously, like, unless he does a horrible job on fleets, but like, again, it's like, in my opinion, it's also a bit petty to assume that like someone's totally gonna struggle on fleets after doing that on your ground zone. There's no point in hoping too much there. So this is one of those downsides, like before the stats are in, you just have to try some stuff out and see if it works. But Bosk already having the taunt available there was a killer for this one. Trying to think if maybe adding in some other character would have done a better job, but I don't think so. This is one of those advantages of having Grand Arena Omicrons when there's such a switch, like we have to face them for the first time in 3v3. You just have a massive strategic advantage because your opponent, who might not have it, like just doesn't have any data to go off. You just have to try stuff out and hope that it somehow works. But in most cases, it just is going to lead to struggles. I think I might end up preloading this, but yeah, don't mind too much, it's a loss anyway, so it's a little bit whatever. So I hope that after he sees that, he just goes in and gets the fleets done and stops being silly about that. Okay. Given that one out the way, let's test out something else then, I think. Well, like, given the fact that I'm gonna lose it probably, I can just make the whole run about testing, which is probably the most value I can still provide to the viewer. Right, like if it's not gonna matter anyway, then let's see what Wampa does against this. You get stunned in the opener, that's to be expected. Do I get a turn after that is my question, or is Dengar gonna land a perfectly timed stun on me? He didn't get it, so that's, yeah, that's a bit RNG. Anyway. But then again, this was also a preloaded team, so that does play a role. I would expect that this loses. There's my expectation going in, but I just want to know for sure. There's just a bit too much of a risk with the stuns, I guess. And they take too many turns. The TM removal from Dengar as well is a factor there. Right, so then you know Wampa doesn't take this one out, in case you were curious. If this makes it, it's going to be incredibly slow. And it's going to be poor banners, but yeah, banners stopped being an issue 5 minutes ago. Let's go for Bosk. I'll just burn him down. Could totally see myself losing Anakin there if she had targeted him. And I could probably still lose him actually. Yep, nah, it's not enough damage. So yeah, if you have Zam, setting this team might not be a bad choice. I guess in time people will figure out plenty of counters against it that are well budgeted. But until such a time, it's gonna be a pretty annoying team, I think. The downside is, of course, yeah, you have to set Bosk, but yeah, if you use Grief and Beskar Mando together with Fennec, you can get a lot done that Bosk could otherwise get done. So he does have, I thought he might, he does have Lord Vader in the back. And he has the Starkiller team, and yeah, he also has the... Doesn't have Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron, what is this? Weird people. Anyway, I'm happy to find Lord Vader, because that at least means I get to test that one out. But also surprised, like I'll be really, and I can say really 17 more times, curious what he did on offense to get as many 58s as he did. Because I just haven't seen it. I'll be incredibly curious to learn about that. So I'll take a quick break and just clear the board and see what else we can test out. So a short break turned into a pretty long break, and it actually made me realize that I made a mistake here on the front wall. Initially my team comp that I wanted to test against the Bosk team was going to be Bastilla, Ki-Adi-Mundi and Mace as the third. But at some point I decided that I wanted to use Mace with Rey, against Rey, so that I could ability block and potentially get higher banners there. But that just meant that I didn't update my notes against the Bosk team. And I really just saw, like, I look over to my screen, like, what did I note down that I wanted to use against the team? And I saw that against Bosk, I had to use Bastilla and Ki-Adi-Mundi, that's what I called it. So in my brain I just figured, yeah, let me throw in Old Ben, I needed ability blocks, right? But that was actually what Mace was there for, as he can go around taunt every now and then, he can reduce their stats, he can recover some protection, he has a dispel. He would have just added way more control to the team, whereas Old Ben really is just one ability block, one taunt, and that's kind of it. So the actual good test that I think, like the good budget test that I wanted to do, I didn't get to do it. I could have easily used a different tank against Rey. So that's actually a pity, because it also cost me the round, but it's also something that I really wanted to test. And now I guess I'll just see it in the stats after this first week. But I was quite curious there, maybe if another opponent sets it against me, then I can try it out over there. So anyway, against the back wall then, let me get started on the Lord Vader. Let me take a look at the Maul, because I'm actually curious if he'll be able to... He's got a good bit of offense. If he'll be able to take down my Relic 9 Bosk. Should be possible. So Fennec, Bosk and Grief. Relic 3 Grief, also pretty squishy. But it'll have to do. So put up my taunt. Cleanse all this nonsense to get my contract. So there's no point in re-taunting here. Some people do that, like just in general with Bosk. It's not really useful, I think. Get a first armor shred on Royal Guard. It's gonna take a while to get him down. I just basic here. Nah, you didn't make it. That's Relic 8 Maul for you. So I can definitely see an argument for, like, I don't know, for Maul under Lord Vader, I mean. Let me see here, how's it going? The offense down kind of sucks. So that's not really great here. But I'll save the cleanse. Who knows, Royal Guard is gonna stun me. So let me see, because Van Seal as well, like he had a Relic 9 Fennec, which is obviously way more survivable. And actually here, like, this is an argument for why cleansing might have been smarter. Because I'm pretty sure Grief is just gonna die to dots here. So maybe the cleanse was supposed to happen, because now I can't do it. But then again, without the group attack there on Royal Guard, you don't get him down. So not sure there. Let's just see how it goes. But I think Fennec is yeah, she eats the dirt due to the dots. Alright, I'm glad I got to test it in this round, because I wasn't going to make it anyway. Definitely something I want to review. Did I play anything different against the team? I had the modding and everything. I had over 14k special offense on my Fennec. So quite curious there. What caused the trouble. Let's take a look at Lord Vader. Like, no unusual modding. Relic 7 Royal Guard as well. Maybe he fought a really poorly modded one, but that did not work for me at all. So basically everything I upgraded so far didn't really work out, though Wampa, well, was thrown away, but I figured, like, out of everything on the board, for me that was going to be the most interesting test. Even though I felt like I had the answer, but if I look at the rest of his board, I'm not really sure where I would be curious if Wampa makes a difference or not, so that's why I went at it the way that I did. Going back to this, how do you play this again? Right, like I think I start with the Foresight, Wiggle and Daze, got it. And then now just start going after 3PO. And then from stealth you don't get countered all over, which makes this a lot cleaner. And then 3PO kind of makes his own life really difficult. Dispel that. I got the Daze and ability block there as well. 3PO goes down to burning, or not. I'm just gonna let him die to burning. I don't think there's anything that can save him at this point. There we go. See if I can stun. Very nice. So some things do go right. And since we're messing around anyway, let's run the Night Sisters version, see how that does. Yeah, no point in really wasting time on Maul. Now I have to be careful that my Daka doesn't go down while he is an ult. And she's not looking too good, so that might actually happen, yep. So Maul wasn't hit earlier. Guess I'll just do it here so I get the crits. I'll do an AoE just to heal. Also get some crits that way. Yeah, no, this is not great. Only get the one turn ult, that's not really gonna make a difference either. So I don't recall what the stats said, they're not great for this comp. They're like 70 or 80%, I'll actually have to look that up. but can definitely see why, though this was also a preloaded team. Not preloaded, might have actually looked worse. Definitely don't want to AoE here. Now I want to AoE, get Maul out at least, that's something. And this is where the fun begins, not really. If Lord Vader's gonna lap me at some point, and when that happens, I probably have a really big problem. Unless I have advantage, that would help a lot in that situation. Though I think the second ult, it drained his mastery into negative. I hope anyway. Yeah, this is where the lapping happens. Fortunately, he doesn't really care for dots, so that helps. And like, not getting crit by that move is pretty handy. So yeah, I could totally see this go wrong if you have a... I have a pretty high health SLK as well, actually. It's about 160k, I think. Still has an offense set. For pretty much this matchup, I figured that was going to be the most useful thing. Not so much the offense, but having that kind of health and then still making sure I hit hard enough. But I'm losing here. It's not looking good, actually. I could totally still lose this. Next hit, probably. Because I'm not reaching my ult. I've got the constant healing immunity that still hasn't dropped. So I'm pretty sure I am dead here. Yeah. Still lost. Interesting. I thought I had that one after the sides went down. And I had a good number of stacks. I can't crit him here. So that's game over. Yep. Alright, interesting. Guess we're gonna practice with Lord Vader cleanups. So this one should be interesting and a well-budgeted counter. I barely outspeed their Bastilla Fallen after the Maul speed boost. And there's 5 debuffs to this spell. So that's gonna pull my tech ahead over them. Then I can get the stun off. If that doesn't land, then yeah, I would see this backfire really hard. Then I can go for Echo here, and this undispellable buff immunity should help me to get her down, rather than her hiding in stealth. So you obviously don't have the true damage from Wrecker in there. But I mean, it's still a good team, you have a lot of control. And really the only sort of remaining trick is trying to get your protection to full. But all things considered, that's pretty doable. He's a little bit chipped here. I guess he is too now. So it depends a bit on how things land. Let's see, swap back to tech. Yeah, he had it available, I thought so. Should have just maybe gone for the kill there, but I think I'll be fine. Okay, this is a boring fight. I think like pretty much in these videos I'm gonna fast forward the boring ones, or maybe even leave them out, I'm not sure. You can let me know in the comments what you prefer. But like standard matchups like this that everyone has to play, it's really not relevant, not even sped up. Okay, let's try something weird over here. Probably just want to go straight for Hux. Get him somewhat low. Stun on Sith Trooper. Isolate on Fost. Though if I isolate him, he also, I don't know if he calls those assists anymore. So it might not actually be the greatest decision. Anyway, that might kill him. It didn't. I think now I can go for Sith Trooper. See you, mate. So actually, like, you don't really need the Treya lead beside the isolate, I guess. Get the stun here. So that is really all she's there for, but it's good banners, so makes it a nice counter. Alright, next up I want to test this, and the main reason I want to test it actually is to figure out, can you use it in reverse? Does it stand any chance? So this is not so much, oh, I really want to run this team because I have JML as well that I could, JKL as well that I could throw in. But I'm actually quite curious if this makes any kind of dent. So I only got 2 of the ability blocks and didn't get the most important one. Not too great there, but let's just go for Mara first. I think that's gonna make most sense. And given that she's probably not gonna go down to 1 more, although she might go down to 2 more lesson moves. So let's actually risk it. No, okay, it wasn't even close, and she actually overtook Ayla there because of some debuffs going away. Okay, Starkiller is at 18 stacks, and all my progress on Ayla is now wasted because she's in stealth. That's not too awesome. And Starkiller, yeah, I thought so. Like with that AoE damage that he has a really good chance of picking off your sides. So that makes this quite dangerous to... well, that makes him quite dangerous to this team. And there's also like, there's an RNG element of Qui-Gon Jinn with his basic getting turn meter or not, because it's a chance, it's not a guarantee. So this definitely works. That's pretty awesome to learn. Because I don't think I can, I don't know. I'd be really surprised if JML somehow gets through here. The debuffs expiring are... yeah, and now she's back to full, or healing her up, so doesn't really do anything. So I'm really happy I tested this, because I had a feeling it had a pretty good chance, but I mean, if Mara gets ability blocked in the opener as well, then maybe I'm not so sure what that looks like. Because that did help them to get going a bit. So I'll have to review that as well to make sure that it actually makes sense. Okay, let's run Geos then. People often like to do this against Beskar Mando lead. Kinda curious what it does here. With Sino Django obviously being a bigger threat than Beskar Mando. I think anyway, I'm not sure. Stagger this one. It's probably a bit of a non-event. Maybe making the progress wasn't the greatest idea with a spy there, as it took away any chance for me to recover banners. Alright, I did preload the Starkiller team, should have probably not done that if I wanted to do proper testing, but I just want to take a look here if I have any chance to clear it out with a team like this perhaps. I don't think there's really any other Jedi that I would want to use, because everything else is just too expensive, doesn't really make sense. I don't really have something here. I mean, Visas could maybe do something. It's not the absolute worst idea, because GK is just gonna get stun locked, I think. So let's throw in Visas, see how this team does. And if it does poorly, then we know that as well. I've actually got to get going soon, so I'll have to take another break. Yeah, I mean, this is a bad test, right? What is this gonna do? Just show how Visas dies. Amazing. Let's think here. I'll do a Force Crush on Starkiller. For, like, what reason exactly? I'm thinking now, like, I would have wanted the assist there. Now I'm getting no assists. So that's making this a lot more annoying. Probably try to ability block him. Got it. Then make some more progress. Get her out of here. Also interesting that the AI strongly favored. What do I do here? Let me think. I don't really want to get countered by this guy, so let me Force Crush. Just get countered like that, I guess. Or he only has the 30% counter chance, actually, just realized. Until he reaches Unleashed, so it's not too big of a problem. But interesting that they favored killing Visas so hard there. Anyway, bad test. Should not have preloaded. Alright, I'm back to it. Let's see if this does, like, pretty much anything at all. I have no clue. Where do I want to start with this? Definitely not turn meter removal. It just punishes your own team. I'll probably just stack armor shreds on Mace. Yeah, not such a fan over there. Let's see, she's gonna do the boost in the next turn. So I'm actually thinking that a fracture on her might be nicer. Spares me all the protection up. And I can kind of cycle through the turns quickly when I need to. His counters are going to be annoying though, so maybe a fracture on him is actually nicer. Let's dispel all of these, even though I didn't get to drain just yet. Let's do it now. Got all of them. Yeah, Nihilus, even at gear 12, he can definitely take this, so that's good to know. Ability block is gone. I think I'll just skip a turn here. But they do go... Yeah, no. They're going for him a bit too much. Like, I felt comfortable up until this point, but now it's starting to become a bit too much. So I think I'm gonna have some trouble here. And there's honestly not a ton I can do. This one here would daze their Shaq. So that's something, but I think my Nihilus is about to drop here and then it's game over. I'll just do a basic. Yep, there he goes. Alright, that's pretty lame, but nothing I could do there really. Other than relic my Nihilus, which is like, it's kind of long overdue, but yeah. Resources and stuff. I think I'll skip. Oh, come on. And no chance at a fracture now, and he's healed up a ton, so yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's skip again. The skips are like, they're a bit risky though, because they give a lot of chances for them to heal. And to do generally really annoying stuff. So I think I'll do a swap here. Another armor shred. And then try and fracture for purely for damage. Let's see if I can pick off one character here. It's pretty unlikely, but who knows, maybe I can get it done. But yeah, that's quite the heal over there. There's a daze. I don't think I can get ahead of Padme, and I think Padme is gonna stun, but let's just try anyway. 5 armor shreds. Yeah, she just kills. Okay. So I think I'll just preload it probably. And see if anything else can get through. Too bad, because I got so many armor shreds on him, but ended up not really mattering. And this should do the job. There we go. What a pain in the ass. So let's see, what did he said? Was this really worth waiting for? He said close to the same. Man, I don't know, like, what are you waiting for? Maybe he was worried that I was gonna one-shot everything he had, but I'm far too interested in testing stuff. And probably will be for the next weeks, to be honest. And then just, like, once I've tested a lot and learned a bunch of things, then I can just climb back up and get my wins in that way. I mean, I'm not going to throw my rounds necessarily, but I'm also kind of hoping if I lose this one that I'll face my guildmate, because then I can get some real testing done. That would be really fun. He's in the same bracket. Because he really doesn't care about 3v3 at all, I should mention. It's not that I'm expecting him to lose, but he doesn't like it, so I'm not expecting him to win specifically. Let's see about that. Is there anything I can do against this non-Omicron Qui-Gon? Let's see if Phasma does something. She has the non-crit when I have advantage, so that would help against Ki-Adi-Mundi. I mean, yeah, you don't need to crit if you're just gonna murder anyway. Foresight is not fun. I think my best shot is probably killing Qui-Gon Jinn first. My TM boost here would be wasted as everyone's full, so let's start by stripping the Foresight. And I think I actually want to go for the speed up rather than the assist call right now. Chop him down, that's good. Maybe get started on him before he swaps stance, that would be kind of annoying. Great, I was hoping for that stun and got it. Ayla's still gonna be annoying, but not much I can do there. Let's hope this does some good damage. Alright, not the best banners, but that worked. And then Lord Vader, like, do I want to go through the process of healing him to full? Not specifically, no. Right, let's do this. So the only way you actually have any chance at beating this, reliably anyway, is if your capital ship is faster than theirs. So otherwise you're just gonna have trouble with their Vulture droid. So in my case, my Piston's actually faster than Millennium Falcon, which can lead to some trouble. Depends a bit on how things play out. So I'll start with this and just drop it a bit. Now, because of how it plays out, I don't get to do an assist call here, so that's a bit unfortunate. I should take a look to get my Millennium Falcon faster than Piston again, because that's actually screwing over the test. I'm actually wondering, did I upgrade my Piston and SRP for recently? I didn't think I took them further. So maybe I swapped something around with Han and Chewie's mods that mess things up. I don't really know. Either way, no wiggle here, that's a bad idea because you have to save it for after you get debuffed. Sunfac gets to do its move. Now we have to take out Vulture Droid so that it cannot get buff immunity on your bigs, as that's pretty much a win condition for the Malevolence fleet. Or a fail condition for you. And now we pretty much return to Sunfac and hopefully get some kind of assists to take him out. That's good. Now you do the wiggle. And my capital ship is going to go first again, which can help me. So I have some options that I brought. I believe the best is Cassian, because then you get to call the assist on the defense down. And that gets you some good progress on the tankiest ship on the field. There's some risk here based on who spy targets. Though I don't know why that was a basic. I was just going to say is that soldier, but apparently not, so that's just dumb AI. But yeah, you have a pretty big chance of dropping your bigs at this point, which is okay. You can take that if he gets targeted out. Let's just pick it off. Now here you still have the annoying part basically where you need to deal with Spy going into stealth and then the Vultures being around. And I'm just taking a quick look here if there's anything I want to do. Don't think the cleanse is gonna make sense besides on Big. So here it would be smart to cleanse Big so that he doesn't get the full assist from both of those other ships. Like depending on whether that's fixed or not, I don't even know. I'll do an AoE here just for progress on Spy. And then probably a heal on Biston makes most sense. Get him back to full, just so that the protection banners can get stripped anyway. And this should be the kill shot. There we go. So really important, as mentioned, your capital ship must be faster than theirs. And if they have a Relic 8 Grievous, then you need like a Relic 2 Akbar with like 5-6 dot mods or something to pull that off. But then the counter is pretty reliable. There's some assist RNG of course, but in general it does a pretty good job. and it makes it kind of a nice option to take it out. Whereas if you fight against the Negotiator, there's so much assist RNG that can really mess you up. I'm honestly not a fan of it, so... Actually, I was mentioning that I could still win if he didn't clear my fleets, but I can't because I just dropped a ton of battles everywhere. I'm not sure why I was saying that. Sometimes I only realize these things like once I start reviewing footage or something. But sometimes it's in the middle of another fight where I'm like, wow, what was that dumb comment that I just made? Or this totally nonsensical counter that I sent in. Buff immunity is not so fun there. So a different approach I guess you could use is not targeting Ahsoka first, but just targeting Anakin so that the loyalty gets burned and they don't want to do a group attack. But yeah, not really sure if that's gonna make the difference for you. Now it's a matter of stalling. So instead of calling in my slave one, I'm just gonna heal. See if I can get some ships to full. I mean, it doesn't matter, why am I even bothering with the banners? It's, I guess, just for testing purposes, just to figure out for myself. Can I do an okay job at that? However, I don't want Fives to stick around, because his damage will be ramping up. So don't call in Boba. It's also interesting to see, like, can I properly do this with just 3 ships? Could I just leave the reinforcements out? Am I gonna need that a lot? I don't think so, but who knows? Yes, kill the capital ship, please. I was gonna say, where's my stun? But apparently there's some game lag. Don't want a group attack. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get another heal off. So instead of doing a basic, which is a double tap, I'm gonna call the Houndstooth here. It should be less damage. Yeah, I need one more turn, that is not happening. Also because I can't repeat the trick that I just did. But it's okay, it's still 75. So I'm actually wondering if this guy went with the Sith Bomber approach, that he, like, maybe he's seen some videos in the past that I made, or he has checked my history, or he had the idea himself, or looked it up in the stats. So many possible things that he could have done, but I'm just curious if he said that. That's a pain. Why was the turn meter removal resisted, or was it not resisted? And he was just fast enough, I don't know. Let's start with a stun here. Super rude. I'll dispel that so that I can now call an assist here and then get that ship. And nah, not really. Thought I would be fast enough. So progress reset, and their fleet is in much better shape than before with all those buffs. That's annoying. I'll just spec for the progress, even though I know I'm not gonna crit. I'll boost both of my ships here. Strip those foresights. I need to figure this one out at some point, because it's just as important of a fleet battle as the other ones. It's just really not fun. This ship is such a pain to get through. Okay, it's Clone Sergeant. Kind of weird. My assumption is that a basic is gonna kill, but no clue. There we go. Would be pretty shameful if it didn't, but yeah. I will not bother with ability blocks and such. He said as the ability blocked Clone Sergeant. Let's strip the foresight from Poe. And make some progress on Sergeant. Yo, Sergeant in stealth? Weird. Yeah, I'll dispel that one. The dots move, like, it's good for healing the ship itself, though I'm actually getting kind of butchered here. But it's not really great for banners. Let me think, if I do this, I gain 40%, I believe. Would that make anyone overtake their ships besides Silencer? I don't think so. So I'm just gonna take out Sergeant here and probably drop that ship. Let's get rid of this one if I can. There we go. Yeah, I need to look into this one to do a better job at it. And resistance X-Wing, okay. Pass to this one to get the group attack in, that's at least a good decision. And then I'll get a stun. Double tap. And finish it off. So this will be like a 69. Could definitely bump that up to over 70. But yeah, I'm ahead in banners, guys. That will be the only moment I will be ahead in banners. That's it. Congrats to my opponent.